what I would do to pitch draw.io in Quip is start out with a page with a few example diagrams. So in this case, we used one of the templates. And the main points for draw.io in Quip are number one, the data is stored in Quip. And number two, the editor lives inside the page. So you never actually open a new tab. You are editing the diagram inside the page. So in this case, say you want to change a label like finance, you just double click, you type sales, you click off the element, and you've changed it. Say you want to change the color of the circle, you just click format, which shows an additional window. You pick the fill color picker, choose a wonderful red, click apply, and then remove the focus from the diagram, and it will change the diagram in place. Now, the second thing you could do is create a new diagram by typing add diagram. This will show you a template dialog. We picked this template before, but in this case, we start out with a blank diagram. We have a very simple user interface, which you can enhance by showing additional windows, mainly the left sidebar with the shapes and the right format panel for formatting the current selection. You have additional windows such as a bird's eye view, layers dialog, finding stuff in the diagram, tags, which allows you to do visual filtering. And then this menu allows you to export to images in vector, graphics, or Visio files, and import XML, comma-separated values, texts, and other files. You can always just drag files from the desktop or the local file system. You can drag Visio, Lucidchart, Glyphy files, and of course our own file format, as well as all image formats such as GIF, PNG, and JPEG and SVG files. In addition to that, we have the insert menu here for the most common options. We will create a rectangle to show you this. Now what you see here is that it uses the last fill color. This is a default style that we use so that when you change some colors or some fonts, it will reuse them automatically. To clear this, just click here on clear default style. Now when you insert another rectangle, it will use the default colors, which in this case are a white fill color with a black line color. This is all configurable. We have a default configuration, which you can see here in the advanced dialog. Here you can also configure the zoom and the border and the padding for the viewer inside the page. What we have pre-configured also is we use the default font that ships with Quip. So in this case, this is the Salesforce Sans Web font with the color that we're using in the Quip page too, to make it look more as part of the Quip experience, basically. If you click fit, it will center the diagram or scale it depending on the available space. For example, on smaller screens, it will make the diagram smaller and change the height accordingly. If you add other elements, you can do that by, so if you want a connection, you can do that by clicking on the blue arrows here. To change the label, you just select an element and start typing. So for example, you could say drink coffee and write software. And to connect to existing elements, you can just drag the blue arrow here or drag from the cross to another cross. And this is how you create new connections. In the left shapes dialog, you can access a large set of new shapes. You can drag them from here or just click on them to add them to the diagram like this. You can show shape sets. We have tons of additional shapes like AWS. Let's just pick that. Click apply. It will appear here. You expand the section, you drag stuff into the diagram. You can also connect it by dragging them onto the blue arrow and so on. In addition to that, you have a delete option here. So if you select elements and then click delete, it will delete them. You can undo, you can redo, you can zoom in and out. You can also zoom in and out by holding down the Alt key and using the mouse wheel. You can use the right mouse button to pan around the diagram or use space and the left mouse button. And also there's a nice full screen mode so that you can focus on the actual editing of the diagram and drink more coffee, right? And then when you exit full screen mode, it will fade into the page and resize the container accordingly. If you need more help, you can click on the help menu and watch our quick start video. And for more keyboard shortcuts, you can click on the keyboard shortcuts link. One useful keyboard shortcut is holding down Control key while resizing an element, which keeps it centered. Another useful keyboard shortcut is Alt-Shift-Cursor to create and connect new elements.